All right, so this is session 2 of 2. This is TGI Thursdays for the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is part of our Thursday night series. We do games all the time. Rich is on Tuesdays. He's got Saturday mornings. I've got some Sunday stuff. It's crazy times. So for this, I picked a game that I love so that I could have one of the sessions on my birthday, which is today, which is why we're doing this.
Happy birthday!
Yay! This is Ben Robbins Kingdom, which is a game about community, and it is a free-form game in the style of Fiasco or Questlandia or that kind of thing. So no GM, no dice. Whether that's an RPG, you can make the judgment call. Anyway, there are 4 of us. We're going to play through. We've got the kingdom built. We built it last time, our school for mutants. We've set some parameters for that, and I'm going to read through that quickly. Humanity fears mutants. They've existed for only a generation or 2. The strongest reactions have involved violent assaults. While debate has raged on many organizations around the globe, while this debate has raged, many organizations around the globe have risen to take the lead on the issue. We haven't decided on a name for the gifted school, but it's a quietly concealed school for young persons with amazing powers, commonly called mutants. School aims to create a bond of mutant brotherhood for the future. The school itself sprawls across a large campus. Parents have an inkling about the school's purpose. Instruction focuses on balancing powers and real-world knowledge. The staff itself is almost entirely mutant. Instructors on staff with powers secretly engage in superheroics. And our threats are government registration is a threat, hormones and energy blasts, essentially the teens with superpowers, and also that there are people that kidnap mutants for experimentation. So those are the 3 sort of overarching threats. Rich, why don't you tell us about your character?
Yes, my character's picture has been misplaced in my media drive.
Change tab and then change back.
I've failed. No. I mean, like to put up on lower third. I've failed to find it. His name is Heath Nakamura, aka Slingshot, because catapult sounds dumb and hard thrower just doesn't have this. So it's Slingshot. He is the touchstone. The game here reflects the people of the kingdom, which is the academy here. They feel the way he does, and he felt like John Ramsa was an inspiration when he first struggled with his powers, but now Ramsa is a shadow of his former self and a little bit of a disappointment. And he's got a thing with Rooster. They have a little bit of a rivalry kind of thing. They'll probably be friends, except they both also compete for the affection of Lucia, who happens to like Heath better than she likes Gabe.
Shaw.
It's in my character sheet, so it's true. Sorry.
Fair enough. And Paul, tell us about Rooster then.
I'm Rooster Gabriel Gallo. I am a survivor from an alternate timeline where things went horribly, horribly awry, and almost every mutant was massacred by weapons designed specifically for that purpose, with the collusion of a few mutant supervillain types. And Slingshot says that he's like the feelings of the people and all that with the whole touchstone thing. But people like me better, so how this reflects on his touchstone role, I'm not sure. Whatever. We'll just leave that to the side, and that's about it. Except for the fact, Ingersoll, who we have not yet met, was one of the main instruments of destruction of the mutants in my timeline. He never got neutered. I mean, reprogrammed, and wound up doing a lot of damage.
Awesome. And terrifying and scary all at the same time.
Yes.
Brian, tell us about Ingersoll.
Ingersoll, known to some in alternate universes as YX-17, but here known as Ingersoll, is a reprogrammed anti-mutant killer robot who works with the faculty and staff while simultaneously sort of disliking the students. He understands the kingdom and the purpose of it. He can foresee consequences. He has some friction with the other characters. So, for example, in the alternate timeline that Rooster is from, I wasn't reprogrammed, as he mentioned, and I had my habit is massacre on my spray painted on my chest. It was, it was a thing that I did. Apparently, I don't really know that, but that's and in the case of John Ramsa, aka Blur, I was involved in the incident which depowered him, and some other bad things that he remembers. That actually happened here. So luckily, ignorance is bliss. I remember none of that. So just make sure the kids get there on time.
Awesome. I'm the last one, and I'm John Ramsa, aka Blur. I was a star pupil of the school who, in some activity involving Ingersoll, he was depowered. A bunch of students were killed, and Ramsa left the school and only returned back recently. His powers are still weakened. And he teaches the Defense Against Conventional Threats class. So he's still very nervous about Ingersoll, and that worries him. He also, recognizes that maybe he can't, if there are students like Heath that have a memory of him being awesome, he realizes that he is not living up to that. And certainly people said that to his face that way last time, which was, pretty horrible. A little tear down my cheek for that one. So people were mean to me in the last session. And in fact, last session, the story is, of course, that we had a student who turned out to be an altered version of a supervillain from another universe. There was discussion about whether or not we should, essentially imprison or do something with her, get her out of the school. The decision was made to not do that and actually have her with the regular student body, and she ended up becoming a supervillain. And so that was a situation that occurred. We're going to take up and we'll go to crossroad number 2, and we'll pick a crossroad. Before I forget, you all three of you know this already, but if anybody's watching at home, I can't imagine why they would be. But if they were, I would tell them that we use the X card to create safe spaces and, do this or send a note if we hit something that is uncomfortable. All right. So anybody have a strong feeling about one of these crossroads? You got a drop down box there, or have a one that you want to write in. I like mutant only drug. I also like the radical mutant supervillain one.
Yeah, the movement praising him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wait, I heard mutant only drug, and my brain started trying to read, and then you said another thing.
Okay.
What was the other thing?
So the mutant only drug one or the one below it. A student has started a movement praising the ideals of a radical mutant supervillain. You will notice a lot of Grant Morrison's run on X-Men influencing this particular thing.
Yeah.
Because
I
read it
won't
before I wrote it.
I didn't actually read it.
It is divisive.
I have no objection to either of those.
They're both great.
If we hope to get through at least 2 tonight,
Mm-hmm.
would it make sense to do something that's a little less fraught?
Sure.
Between what happened last time and something that big like that?
Okay.
It's just a question. It's not actually even an opinion yet.
I don't know. I'm not certain. We've got a little bit of the sense of the flow, but you're right. It might take longer to do one of those. Are there any ones that you go, okay, I think we probably definitely can get through this one or that one?
Well, I think we could get through the prom thing pretty quick. Let the students participate in a shared prom with local schools. But again, it's not that wasn't actually a suggestion.
Okay.
As much as a question that I wanted to hear.
I think we can probably get
Other
through
people.
2. That's my thought, but I don't know.
2 meaty ones.
Rich, what do you think?
I kind of like the mutant only drug. I hear what Paul's saying and that concern. Maybe we just try to put a fine point on it. We don't have multiple instances or examples of it. Maybe it's just someone close to us either introduces it or is caught with it, kind of thing.
And what we can say is that, if it feels like it's going well and it takes longer, then maybe we only get through one. I'm cool with that. There's no.
Well, it's your birthday, so if you're cool with it,
I'm cool with it. All right.
All right. Let's go drugs.
Okay. And again, we have nothing defined in the fiction besides the fact that it is a mutant only drugs question. So that can be defined in play here. We're not building any of that ahead of time. And we'll go through, we'll do the rounds. I ended last time. So I believe that has Rich starting this time.
Okay. I'm starting.
Okay. And to remind you, you call scenes. You can bring people in. You can have them play NPCs. Your power is to define popular reaction. The power of the perspective is defined what happens if we do this or what happens if we don't do this.
Okay.
And that's how it goes.
So I'm framing the scene. Yes.
Yeah. Where do we start with this?
I'm sorry. Hang on, Noel. Just to make sure, his power is not to define what happens if we do this and what happens if we don't do this. That's perspective.
Right. That's you and Ingersoll, right?
Right. Yeah. Touchstone is
right. And Rich is the one to define the popular reactions. Did I misspeak that?
Yeah. It happened last time too. It's all good. I'm just making sure.
Oh yeah, I flip the stupid terms. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that was an Ingersoll robot voice.
I think it would be interesting if the scene picks up with. Oh gosh, I'm just trying to think. Do we have a names and places? Oh, we don't. Characters. No, it's just the NPCs. We have an NPCs thing. I was going to just grab some of the NPCs we might have introduced because there was the nervous girl and there was Lucia. Wait, there was Lucia and there was another girl, right?
Wasn't that Francisca who is gone
Francisca.
now?
Yep. Thank you. So Lucia, Francisca. Those are only really 2 that we've introduced then, right? Because we kept the focus pretty tight on characters. I think we pick up with like, this is an academy, so it's also a dormitorium. Maybe Ingersoll is a monitor, more or less. and there's a group of guys, which unfortunately includes Rooster, but other guys who are pretty cool, all gathered together, and Ingot is one of the mutants who's gotten this drug, right? And he's kind of showing it off. And I think since it's mutant, right? Let's go. Like what he does, he dabs it on his tongue, right? He starts to glow a little bit blue, and Ingot's not really a color changer, so it's pretty wild. And maybe they're just kind of passing it around, right? They've got a little sheet of strips. And that's the scene, is like these guys are killing time at night, and it's supposed to be lights out. So maybe Ingersoll should come around. Maybe Blur's up working late on grading papers. That's the scene. How is that? Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, works for me.
So should we do NPCs while we wait for Ingersoll to come upon us?
I think so. I think you're Ingot.
Okay. Oh man, so that is sweet, and you get this tingle like behind your eyes when you do it, and it stays for a while, and then you see stuff way out there, like where you are in a while, like future stuff. That's what you see.
Future stuff?
Man. What?
Future stuff?
Like
future stuff in the future.
Like time stuff. It's like woo, So it's pretty whack.
Whoa. I think Rooster should take the next hit.
Rooster, come on, man.
Oh, man, I'm kind of straight edge.
Straight edged? Is that, you literally just said that to us? How can you do that, dude? Straight edged.
What do you mean? What's wrong with straight edge, man?
Oh, well, if you want to go be a teacher's boy, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to head out.
Hey, you know what? I'm a rocker. I rock out, but
then rock out to this.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
I don't. If Slingshot does it.
I snatched the paper away. I'm doing it. Two dots.
Okay. You might want to hold on to your head.
Okay, man. Here we go.
Hand it to Rooster. Oh,
yeah.
It's kicking in. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it starts leaning against the wall. It starts to glow like blue and then purple. And we're using computer colors. So there's all kinds of gradations.
This is not good. So I'm seeing my infrared sensors are indicating 4 Utes sitting in the dark.
4 Utes.
And I'm concerned about that because they're sitting close to each other, and they should be. It's lights out. So I will go to stealth mode, and I will run silent, run quiet and silent as I approach.
Well. This is going so well.
I'll get right up on the door.
Okay. Come on, Rooster. Come on, man. The hit.
I just, man, I don't look at Slingshot. He's like, bleh. Who wants that?
Your call, man. You called him out, and now you're going to be chicken shit about it.
This is great. Straight edge. Be a straight edge. More for us.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I take it, and I'll do it. That was unfortunate. I'd like to apologize to anyone that might ever watch this.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate because I had just turned on my recording devices when you decided to do that. And at that point, I will burst into the room and illuminate my halogen super brights so that it's like you're looking into a cop searchlight, like inches away from your face. What are you doing? What's happening here?
I didn't see him coming. Ingrid.
It's too far in the future. I didn't see him. So
I just, uh, I look up at Ingersoll and I just scoot back because it's just starting to take effect.
That's so unfortunate.
And I say, holy shit, are you here to kill us?
No, my job is to protect you. And
not
I'll
yet.
begin to whip my arms around and put on a sort of a siren thing.
Oh God! God, what the fuck?
I'm now like proving that I probably shouldn't have taken this at all. I'm now like just scooting back behind whatever furniture I can get behind, and I'm just sort of gonna curl up into a little fetal ball and start whimpering about, you killed my parents.
Oh, clearly, you boys have taken more drugs than I've ever seen somebody take. I say to myself.
He's scrambling to his feet, trying to cheese it, but he's like made of metal, so he keeps falling down and breaking things.
I'm just playing it cool. I'm going to walk back to my room.
Nobody's leaving yet. Give me what you've been taking.
No, if you take it, there won't be any left for us.
Not the thing to say.
This is not illegal. It's not illegal. It's a chemical. It's like herbal.
The headmaster is the captain of this ship, and he will decide what is legal and what is not legal. And your best interest, it's in loco parentis. We are as your parents. Now give it, or there will be. Don't make me use my heat ray.
Dead.
Yes, listen to him. You don't want. Yes.
Rooster's got it. Rooster's got it.
Ah, perfect. Rooster, put it in my hand.
So I'm still curled up in a little ball, but I actually hold it up like
All right.
here.
Excellent. I extend my hand, and then a smaller hand comes out, sort of telescopes, takes it, and puts it inside.
Oh, go gadget.
Everyone back to their rooms.
Lullaby and good night.
God, would have been an excellent RA.
I'll help.
Never be light. You're gonna die and it's all bad.
Ingot helps Heath to his feet because he thinks that Rooster is the one who caused all this because he was delaying and putzing around. So
I'm so dead. I'm so dead. And we all will be dead soon.
Soon, yes, but not today. I'll shut off my lights and sirens and stop flailing my arms. Kind of retreat from the room,
I didn't know Ingersoll could danger Will Robinson.
yes,
Where do you think the robot got that?
yes.
He was the original.
That's right.
Rich, you feel that that's the scene complete, or you want to?
Yeah, I think that's that's definitely that scene for sure.
Okay. And all three of you are in the scene, so if you want to predict or state people's feelings, you can do that. We'll start with Rich.
I predict that the administration will make this illegal.
But you're doing the reactions, right? The pop reactions.
Sorry, I'll react. The people are intrigued.
Okay.
Well, so we're on crossroad 2. Sorry, I need to move over. Come on. Wait.
ought to
There we
be-
go.
Thank you.
I'm going to predict if they conduct an undercover investigation to locate the culprits, I'm going to predict that it leads to a faculty member.
Oh,
All right. Do you want to type that in or should I?
I didn't type, so you may if you like, or I'll go back to the tab.
That way you get to hear me type. I didn't mute myself.
I like your clackety keyboard.
What about you, Ingersoll? Is there a prediction from you?
yes. If there is not an investigation, the drug will spread like. See, I can type this in.
Sure.
Right. So if no investigation, or I guess that's implied, the drug will spread like wildfire.
Awesome.
And is highly addictive.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, Paul,
Yes.
we move to
Am I
you,
next?
and you're going to call a scene.
Um,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to pause here. Rich, you need to check one of the boxes, either momentum or
Oh,
crisis.
sweet. Yes, I get to check a box.
Oh, man. Isn't this the most interactive of games?
Crisis.
All right.
Crisis.
Okay. Paul,
yes.
I'm to your scene.
All right. I think that since I was the one that was holding, this scene has me and Blur, potentially Ingersoll, since he was he nabbed me, and maybe the headmaster or the dean, if
Ooh.
Rich feels like jumping in as an NPC.
I would like to be the dean.
All right, and the dean of students.
The dean of Oh no, I don't want to be the dean of students.
Oh, then the dean.
The
dean.
headmaster?
Yes, the
Okay.
headmaster. That works.
Sounds kind of
Okay.
sexy. Don't we have a dean and a headmaster or something, if I remember correctly? Don't we have like 2 administrative positions?
Yes.
Or am I
Yeah,
misremembering?
I think so. Yeah, I mean the dean is actually the guy that's basically in the field, right? He's like sort of the arm of the headmaster.
Sure.
That's how I always understood a dean to be. At least he was always giving me Saturday morning detention. So
Okay.
Yeah.
But the headmaster's
not like
here
a-
with us?
However, Rich
The
wants to define
headmaster.
it.
Yes, the headmaster is here. Hold on, let me change my lower third so we can.
Rich is like, no, the generalissimo, I wish to be called. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to give it. Oh, I want to see the name.
All right. It's the
Oh, God.
headmaster.
And is he just literally called the headmaster?
That's
That
actually
was-
his superhero name.
Yeah. That was his-
That's actually
his
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in his office, right? So
Sure.
you have this stout, huge desk, and to the left and right are pictures of different superheroes and dignitaries and the UN and all this other stuff. Behind him are the windows that look out onto the grounds of the academy, and there are nice little chairs that you guys are seated upon. He doesn't have he is like a like a little Chromebook, right? We got some different symbol on the back of it. So it's not, but it's basically like a little Chromebook thing. And he closes that. John, what exactly has happened here?
Well, as I understand it, Ingersoll has made some pretty serious accusations at some of the students. And while there were a number involved, he decided to bring in Gabriel Gallo, who has a fairly spotless record disciplinary-wise. I'm hoping that Mr. Gallo can give us an explanation, and we can settle this matter.
Okay. I'm trying to remember before things got really bad in my timeline. I went to a workshop about what to do when confronted by authority. And I'm trying to remember, I'm just supposed to say, yes, sir. And I'm already sitting down and I don't have any weapons. So, yes, sir.
I'm not sure what passes for humor in your dimension, Mr. Gallo, but what is actually supposed to transpire right now is you tell us about the substance that Ingersoll caught you taking.
I don't know much about it. I just it was peer pressure, and I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I normally am very averse.
Who gave it to you?
I don't know where it came from.
That's unlikely.
No, it's true. It was just there in the room.
John?
Yes, sir.
Find out what's really happened here. This is useless to me.
Sure. We'll talk with Mr. Gallo further, and are you okay with, let's take the disciplinary things off the table for the moment?
No, he's suspended. Ingersoll.
I've got nowhere else to go.
I didn't say we were kicking you off the grounds. You're possibly a drug pusher. So that's not going to happen. Now we need to keep you under lock and key. Ingersoll, I need you to watch after.
Headmaster, I have to object. Mr. Gallo has been a strong student. He has been a positive influence in the classrooms. And if he was pushed via peer pressure into doing something, these are kids. You have to recognize that. If you want to give him like a long-term detention, I'll be glad to oversee that. I think a suspension is going too far.
Well, you've read the documentation on his dimension split and the propensity for those refugees to commit atrocities.
That is as of yet unproven. That's a hypothesis from some of the super scientists. I haven't seen any hard evidence to that effect.
I've got reams of it, John. Very well. Detention if this happens again. Suspension if I get a whiff of it after that. Expulsion. And I don't care what dimension you end up in, but it will not be one that bothers my students. Is that clear, Mr. Gallo?
Yes.
Ingersoll, keep an eye on this one.
Oh, I will. Several.
And I We'll thank the headmaster.
I think let's have the scene just kind of flow outside, right? Because not only is the event, but the aftermath is important to this scene. So, and if it's not necessarily pertinent to the kingdom, then you guys don't have to pursue it. But I am interested in at least a little bit of reaction.
Oh no, I think Paul.
Still, actually, my scene.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's a good idea. I would like to see what happens once we leave the headmaster's office. So that's great. So
Ingersoll,
Yes.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I really think you need to take it down a notch. Students with first offenses taking this straight up to the top is not the way to go. That's just my opinion.
Well, your opinion, as always, is highly valued. But I'm not really enthusiastic. I'm simply efficient. I could be less efficient. But my concern for the school is that this unknown substance could have unknown effects on very, very powerful people. We also have an unused root cellar. I'm just saying.
That was super creepy. That was my internal monologue as we walk out together. Wow, I am really sorry. I don't. It was stupid. It was stupid. It was stupid. It was stupid.
As long as you understand that and you're take care in the future, we'll all be good.
Okay, I'll do my best.
It may help to visualize your brain as an egg. And when you consume this substance, it is like an egg that is frying for breakfast.
Do you have a video for that or something?
I could produce a video, yes.
That's no need.
Does that mean you want to eat my brain for breakfast?
That's not really important, is it? No.
I'll that image will haunt me. I guarantee you. Yes. Okay. So can I go back to class now?
Absolutely. We'll talk, finish out the day, and we'll talk about your suspension later and what that's going to involve in terms of the, not suspension, but the detention. Is that okay?
That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go to class now. Thank you, Blur, and thank you for not killing anyone I know in this timeline, Ingersoll.
You're very welcome.
Okay. End scene.
So predictions and touchstone, starting with you, Paul.
I have nothing to add at this juncture for perspective.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
No, I think we're still pretty much where we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wish I'd created a scene with more forward momentum. I apologize for that, guys.
I think it added some stuff that we'll get to play on, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And also, it was Paul's that
It
created
was actually
the scene.
my fault. So.
Wow.
Well, I tried to take it over
That's
twice.
a southern compliment.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich. If you're gonna bogart my scene, do better.
Yeah.
No.
No, just no.
Um,
All right.
Rich,
So
Rich, do you have anything to add to the reactions or modifications of that?
I think at this point that I think the witch hunt for the drug could cause old rivalries to spark up again.
not you.
hmm.
What?
How do
Is
the
it
people
Rich?
feel about it?
Oh fuck, I don't know. This is so confusing. Okay.
Like-
How do the people feel about it?
About what's going on?
They are nervous
It's
because
good.
suspension is out there, and so they were curious about the drug. Now they are nervous about this and very worried. There, did I do my thing?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's like Red Riding Hood and Into the Woods. Well, excited and scared. Okay, sorry. Just had a music theater geek moment. Couldn't help it. And refresh me on what crisis means versus momentum.
So momentum
Well-
means that we've kind of things are moving along towards the decision, that we're coming closer to a decision being made. Crisis means that what has happened is destroying the very foundations of the kingdom, and blowing it up.
I'm going to call this momentum.
Okay.
So I am X marking the spot.
I can do more stuff, right? Can I do stuff? Or not?
So you set the popular reactions, and then
Right.
the other thing that you can do, Rich, is you have the option to as the
I can juice the momentum again, right? No?
you can juice the crisis. You
Oh,
can
cool.
either increase the crisis or leave it where it is or take it down a notch.
I'm increasing the crisis.
Crisis. And how does that look? What is it that is destroying the foundations? What's the reaction that is causing that?
I don't know. Can I say that?
Yeah, you should say that. I mean, you're setting that up.
What's
so
happening is that this witch hunt is uncovering a lot. Like people are using it to snipe at other students or teachers they don't like.
Mm.
It's very. Oh God bless America! What is the play? With John Proctor and the witch hunt, the Salem witch
The
hunt.
Crucible.
Crucible.
Thank you. The Crucible. It's very Crucible.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw John Robinson with the devil. I saw Goody Gallo with the devil.
Good Callow. Oh my God.
Oh man, I feel bad for all the kids that are wearing black T-shirts.
Yeah.
Which is probably at least 2/3 of them.
So Brian,
Yes.
is your scene to call?
Okay. I think that let's see, what were my two? Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to say that we're down by the lake, which is a favorite haunt of the kids, and boy, I can't really be undercover, can I? I'm pretty obvious.
Yeah. And keep in mind that what we're deciding, the question at hand that we're working towards is, will the school conduct an undercover investigation?
Oh, right.
The culprits.
Okay. Well, that being the case, I'd like to move it back to the school then, and maybe the headmaster's office makes the most sense with the headmaster, the dean, John Ramsa.
Bless you.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
That's enough people, I think, and we can, we can decide what it is that we, the headmaster's obviously convinced that this is a serious problem. He's also additionally concerned about people from the alternate dimensions and what kind of effect might be coming into play there. So yeah, do we want to conduct the investigation? Ingersoll is strongly in the pro-investigation camp.
So, Paul, do you want to do the dean?
Sure, I'll be the dean.
Cool. So, gentlemen, yeah, what are your thoughts? How should I proceed? How should we proceed?
Let me say this based on what our previous experience was. That trust of these students to make their own judgments, to handle their own affairs is important. We undercut that last time when we moved to isolate the counter-Earth sovereign, and that created a lot of tension in the school. And I think to turn around and immediately witch hunt either above board or under the scenes is probably a terrible idea.
Interesting.
Fair point. We do have some people with psychic abilities.
Ooh.
Doing it for the children's good, as well as the good of the future of mutant kind, the brotherhood, and the sanctity of the academy. We're talking about drugs here.
Dean?
I tend to sympathize with both the protectionist idea of trying to prevent our students from making mistakes, but also with the idea that you can't learn without making mistakes. As far as I know it, have there been any over adverse effects?
Well, haven't had any notes from the nurse or anything like that. We haven't seen any appreciable fallout from this.
Still, it's not harmless, and I'll immediately project onto the wall like kind of a flickering 8mm of me busting into the room. It's in the dark, my lights, they look scared, they're not making a lot of sense. Maybe one of them was drooling a little bit. It's kind of gross. I'm like, look at this.
Yeah, that video, this is Paul jumping in. That video also shows Rooster cowering in fear and saying that you killed his parents.
Right. That's the kind of effect this drug has.
Or the kind of effect that a robot that he has a strong, it's in his records, has a strong negative reaction to, came storming in while he was, a little high. The equivalent of being, smoking a couple of reefers or maybe being drunk. I think he would have had the same reaction.
Perhaps.
I think you don't understand human behavior.
That seems very unlikely. However, you are my collective bosses, so I will proceed based on your recommendations.
My feelings are pretty clear on this. We need to protect the organization. Not everyone graduates from the academy. Not everyone needs to.
So let me ask a question. And I turn to actually take a quick Saul before I say this, because he's sort of the odd man out in this foursome here. This sort of discipline with a possibly trivial recreational offense, how does that build our fellowship, our brotherhood for the future, if you will?
You're concerned that the social bonds will be weakened. That makes some sense.
And also the trust of our younger cohort for the leadership that we're hoping that they will accept once they come of age.
Well, there is truth to all of this. Perhaps an assembly and a strongly worded message from the headmaster, while I glower from the back, would be enough.
I see. So we want to instill fear, but it's an empty fear. We can obviate all of this by using just a few subtle eavesdropping sessions to find out who the true culprit is. Find out who has sent this here, because no one here devised it. You don't have the tools.
Once you move to bring psychics into the equation, we cross a Rubicon. We've avoided that for much more severe matters in the past.
You cannot unring the bell of psychic eavesdropping, Headmaster.
I see.
Let's think of other investigative options. At the very least, let's make the assembly idea that Ingersoll has is a good one, at least to make it clear that we're aware of the situation and that they don't want to get caught, that they don't want to be doing this.
Well, it seems I'm outvoted.
Well, of course, you have the final vote.
True, but we do need to enter this as a group.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. And scene?
Yeah. All right. Brian, do you have anything to add to the predictions of what will happen if they do decide or don't decide to do an undercover investigation?
Yes. No. A thriving black market will develop, because if people can barter for the drug, they can barter for other things.
Oof.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would like to add on the if yes that leads to a breakdown of trust between students and administration.
Absolutely. Rich, do you think
Yeah.
the student body, that their reaction has changed at all?
I don't think so.
Assembly doesn't change things.
So are we assuming the assembly happens?
I would assume so.
I don't think I'm going to push up crisis. I think that it actually will restore a little bit of faith.
Okay. Brian, do you want to check momentum or crisis?
I think momentum. I think we're making some progress here.
Okay.
Rich, do you have a suitable speech prepared already that you can
No.
lay on us? Or?
Blah, blah, blah. Turns out you guys are all terrible.
I think I've heard this speech. Yeah.
Very reactionary statements, empty threats, grumble, grumble. Some kind of history lesson that's really tangential.
Oh, yeah. That's about right.
Let me think how I want to call this scene here.
Well, we've had a crucible. We've had the Rubicon. So,
Yes. Now I have to do the salesman.
Or 9 Angry Men.
Okay.
9 on a budget.
I didn't bring hats.
So, Paul, can you give me another teacher? Can you do another teacher?
Sure.
What do you want to call them?
I'll do Ms. Worthington.
Okay.
And again, I given our parameters, I don't think any of these older mutants are old yet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But she's probably in her early 40s, and she teaches the history and strategy. So it's sort of like a military history class, but with very specific tactical and strategic applications.
sounds awesome.
And do you have a first name?
Emily.
Okay. So this will be in my office, probably late in the evening, having worried in there. And I will say, okay, Em, this has got to change. This situation has to change. I let it slide because you're selling to me, but you cannot be piping it down through the students. Or at the very least, you gotta dial it back a lot, because I have had 2 sessions with the headmaster trying to talk him down, and this morning he wanted to bring psychics out to read the student body. I managed to put the kibosh on that.
I have trusted you to take care of this.
And I have, but there's a limit.
You're getting your cut. You're getting your cut, John. I don't understand what your problem is. Can't you handle it? That's why I brought you into the circle.
Look, that's all fine and good, but the heat is high. All it took is one bumbling student to get this out in the open. You cool it for a few months, and you figure out another way to get it moving. or I guarantee that the headmaster and that fucking robot are going to be, on your ass.
But they'll be on yours first, right?
We'll see about that. And he blurs over to by her with his hand sort of vibrating. And he says, because if it comes to that, my power set's much more lethal.
Emily sighs. Your power set may be more lethal, but I have actual friends, John.
Fuck you. And get out of my office.
Emily stands up slowly, scoots back her chair, straightens out her skirt, and turns toward the door. You just hear her heels clacking on the floor as she goes. And as she opens the door, she turns her head and turns back to look at you and says, "With a fuck with her, John." And then she goes out and closes it.
And the end moment is John going over, locking the door, opening the drawer, pulling out a sheet, and hitting the tabs, and feeling the rush of it as his powers start coming back.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's excellent.
Oh my goodness, this is good. This just went from something to something awesome. I love it.
Man.
Very nice call, Lowell.
Yeah. I don't think as a power I can cause punishments to people and things. I don't think I want to do that yet, though eliminating that NPC does occur to me, but that's a little too far for me right this second. So then does anybody have modifications to the reactions, Rich, or predictions, Brian or Paul?
So, little question. That
Sure.
scene that took place, I mean, that was a private scene. How does that affect the kingdom? Do we, how would they? They don't know.
No, but what it does mean is that in terms of the dramatic logic, if this were a movie, we'd be moving towards sort of what the end point is, right? The decision being made.
Okay.
That's how I always picture it, is that the narrative moves forward. It's not necessarily that the kingdom rolls on. It's that sort of logically we move to that point in the narrative when we have to make that decision.
Okay.
That's how I always view it.
Yeah. It's a lot better than you don't know, so nothing changes. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, one of the things is the original version of Kingdom has nothing changes as an option for clicking, and it's a terrible thing. They took that out. So you have to kind of keep moving things. I'm going to click momentum on that.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else you want to add prediction-wise or anything?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Not going to complicate this shit yet?
I'm tempted to say if yes, then Ramsa in disgrace, but I don't think we need that yet.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Brian, anything?
No, I think we're good. I'm tempted to just spray paint violence across my monitor, but I'm going to wait and see what happens. Maybe John can resolve this peacefully.
Rich, we're back to you to call the scene.
All right, I'm gonna call scenes. So we've got a couple of threads going on. We've got the kids, and we haven't heard from them for a while, so I think that's where I'm gonna lean. As I look at characters, Heath Scene's baseball diamond, student rec room. I think the student rec room has a totally different connotation now, and I think that is where we will set this.
Black light.
Oh, like a room in the school, the rec room is actually a place that the students had managed to cloak from the staff.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh,
This is the
room of requirement.
Yes.
what's that? What was the hidden room in Harry Potter's? Is
The
that
room of requirement.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I was thinking
Yep.
maybe that's what you meant, but I want to
Yep.
never show this video because then all the Harry Potter fans will call me off. Yeah, I think we have. I really want Lucia in this scene, and I think Ingot needs to be here too, but not Ingersoll, and of course Rooster, but not Ingersoll. But totally Ingersoll shows up soon. Guns a blazing, but yeah, Gabriel's there. He's there. Lucia, Ingot, and others. So how's that? Is that good? I think it's
Oh yeah.
like in the room, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a storage room. It's like a hidden storage room that one of the guys with rock powers is like built out built out some kind of wall to cover over the wall, but they can always open it up because he has rock powers.
that's right.
Yeah, and they got to the danger room and they got like some of those defense nullification plates and things like the psychic ones and all of the sensor ones, and they've been taking those for a while, and they put those up around the room to buffer it.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, you're saying that they got these defense, and the person who leads the defense is Blur, and it just that doesn't seem suspicious at all about Blur. Nobody
Blur is
cares.
defense against mundane threats.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. This is from the danger room. Wasn't like any key or room got left open or anything.
Yeah, he's despicable, guys. He's terrible. He's the worst. Seriously.
All
How do you
right,
want
so
to start us, Rich?
Do what?
How do you
make
want to
this
start
scene
us?
happen.
Hold on. I'm trying to make the thing go. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to redo my thing. It's way more important than me setting up a scene. Okay. Priorities. I mean, maybe we just kick it off with This is the first time Gabriel's talked about his little experience thing. You good with that, Paul? Like, do you want to lead off?
No, it's your scene. Lead off, man. I'll talk
But
to you.
I'm not Rooster.
Heath.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Why did you bring Rooster with you?
Well, he's the one who talked to Headmaster before the big assembly. I want to know what he did. What did you tell them, man?
I didn't tell him nothing.
Really?
Really?
Well, he
Are
didn't
you-
come after us, so I kind of believe him. I mean,
Yeah,
he had
I'm
a
not gonna-
wide open opportunity to take me down.
All right. That's cool.
I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, man.
Snitches get stitches, right?
Wow. That was a little lame.
Saw it on a movie. Fine.
It isn't like a baseball reference, is it?
No, it's not, because that baseball. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't even work.
Stitches in the... No.
Stop. You're terrible. Ingot. So they don't know anything then.
I don't think so.
Because it sniffed to me like, hey, let's go shake a tree and see what falls out, and nothing fell out.
Nothing's going to fall out.
Ingot, where'd you
Lucia?
get it from?
let's just say I don't think they're going to push too hard an investigation.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Why who's supposed to be investigating?
Like, I don't think they're going to push too hard on this. If we keep it quiet, we don't mess around out in public, we'll be fine. Keep away from Murderbot 1000 and we're all good. You cool with that, Rooster? I mean, you are the man.
I guess. This is still kind of getting out of hand, I think.
What do you mean?
Like, well, what I mean is that, have you ever been in the headmaster's office?
No.
All right, that's what I mean by out of hand. And it's my ass that got spanked.
Yeah, so what do we do? Just pretend this never happened? They're not going to give up until somebody like rolls on wherever this is coming from.
I mean, if they don't, if nobody sees it, they'll forget about this in another month or two. I mean, hell, they don't talk about Sovereign anymore. They try to keep that quiet. They like to push stuff under the rugs.
Some truth to that.
We just agree that we do it in here and nowhere else.
Or just don't do it.
I'll tell you, man, my powers felt stronger. I'm just saying. We're going to walk away from something that felt good, helped our powers, all because of somebody is afraid. I don't want to get in trouble.
The reason I couldn't move was because that stuff amped my density powers and I just wasn't used to it. I mean, it was amazing. Lucia, what'd you think? We'll let you take that one, Brian.
Yes, you get to be able to see when she has a line. She appears.
You're muted.
It's for the best. I was doing a terrible, terrible voice, and I was like, I can't do it the whole time. I'll kill myself. Basically, I was just channeling my mom, and it was terrible.
That does sound terrible.
Yeah. So Lucia, I have to admit, I felt it too. I mean, an increase in energy, an increase in power. I never felt so alive and so special. I don't know that I can stay here in the skull-shaped rec room to do it.
If you do it here, then it's going to be cool. Nobody gets caught. Nobody gets wrapped up in anything. It's all good.
That's true. I don't want to be wrapped up in anything.
Except my loving arms.
Obviously, yes.
Ha.
Ingot looks at Heath.
No response from Slingshot?
You guys.
We gathered everything together so that there's no stray any stuff out there to get found.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. Well, about 100% on that.
There's no abouts, Ingot. Come on, man.
As far as I know, 100% on that.
Who's holding out? Here's the deal. If we can control it, then we make it go away, right? Maybe we play around with it, figure out what it is, but we don't do anything public anymore. We don't have Robo Man getting us in trouble.
Oh, I'm cool with that.
That horrible robot.
Absolutely.
Right. I agree with you, Lucia. He's terrible.
I hate to waste it, but if I could get some in the lab, I could experiment on it and see maybe what it's made out of. I don't know if that's safe.
If you think you could make more in the lab, then I wouldn't have to go through the dealer.
That's true. We'd be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
I could maybe even make it better.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. Stronger? Yeah.
Yes. Bluer.
Yeah.
Better, faster, harder.
Yes.
I don't think Ingot needs that harder part.
He'll be Stone Boy at that point.
Not stoned. Stone.
Stone Boy. I believe that's in Legion.
That's the thing. We gather everything together. Right? We gather all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucia takes little bits to experiment on until we make it better. Then we don't have to worry about the what are you paying your dealer?
I got a little bit of a trust fund, so I've been spending on that. But eventually I'm going to have to come to you guys to get a little backing on that. But of course, if Lucia gets it,
there you go.
that, I don't have to worry about that.
It's
Okay.
good. We could seize the means of production.
Like a good Marxist. Yeah, it's all good.
Absolutely.
So it's decided.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. So that scene?
That sounds good. Are you good with that, Rich?
I'm good with it.
Okay. Rich, do you have anything to add to the reactions?
So the reaction of the people is, this will blow over if we just keep our heads down.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Any?
I'm
Any
adding
questions?
to, if no, then teams with out of control, high teams with out of control powers eventually go on a rampage.
Oh, good. Anything you want to add, Brian?
No, I think I like Paul's addition there.
Okay.
What's the name of that movie from back in the day with about the marijuana and people are jumping out of windows?
Reefer Madness.
Yeah.
Rich, which do you want to check?
I don't think Crisis, right? Well, you know what? I'll take Crisis down a notch.
Okay.
Because the kids are gonna have figured a way past this insanity.
Okay.
And you can also check a box still, right?
Yep, he can still check momentum if he wants.
Oh yeah, let's bring it to a head though.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll check Mo. Getting a Mo.
Getting a Mo. And Paul, you call the next scene.
So I'm going to call another scene with the four of our main characters. And it's in, I'm going back to my character. It's actually in the danger room. Also present, but not needing to be role played, is Ingot, who upped his dose in the room of requirement and then came down to test it out. And right at the moment, he literally can't move.
Uh-huh.
He is so dense that he's actually sort of denting the floor of the danger room slightly. And Slingshot and Rooster are there. We were here to, check it out. I only took a single dose. I don't know about Slingshot, but but then this happened to Ingot, and we just can't move him. We can't do anything with him. He's and it's clear that there's something wrong. Not just like there's danger to him.
Are we saying? Are we on Lucia's test stuff or just on some of the other stuff? I just want to make sure. I thought that's what you said, but
I didn't say that, but we can, in fact, make it Lucia's attempt to recreate.
I like it.
Because Slingshot has a double dose because he's trying to prove to Lucia. Rooster didn't take any. That's fine. I got twice. Double. It's good.
No, I took one. I took one.
That's why I took two. Because you only took one.
Yeah. And it's like this version has an accelerator pedal but no brake. So yeah, like I have to be careful about even talking because my sonic powers are coming out even if I just say a few words without really meaning to.
Black Bolt.
Yep. So, and I assume that the two of you have found out somehow and are responding to this.
Ingersoll probably hears about it, and Blur helpfully offers to come along.
Yes.
When he grabs some equipment, he'll grab some.
Yep. So when you walk into the danger room, at least I am really trying to get Ingot to focus up, right? I'm like, dude, you got to start breathing regular, man. You're turning blue, and it's not just the drug. God. That's what I'm saying as you walk in.
I'm just watching what Ingersoll is going to do, what the kids are doing.
I'm just training fine. My powers are doing great.
I will make sure when we go in that, because of course the danger room, I don't want danger going out of it, so I'll lock the danger room door behind us.
Oh, great idea.
Check it out, Teach. He doesn't even have an object now. He's just like hurling plasma energy.
That's very impressive. Very impressive work.
That's what happens when you focus, man.
What happened to yes, what happened here? He seems to be as dense as a brown dwarf star.
I think that's an insult, and I don't even know. I don't care.
If you paid more attention in astronomy, never mind. Yeah. I'll poke Ingot a bit. I'm not sure how to resolve this situation.
Rooster, what's the deal?
He just it's like everything amped up, like his powers just went exponential or something.
Is there some external cause?
Your heart rate seems elevated.
So what? Your heart rate seems non-existent.
I think this boy is on something.
Would you do a scan if you can, Ingersoll?
All right, I'll do a quick scan for perspiration and pupils and heart rate, blood pressure. So everything's elevated. His pupils are dilated.
I close my eyes so he can't scan me for very
Not how that
long.
works, but
We don't pay attention in astrology. We don't pay attention in astronomy. We don't pay attention in most classes. Until,
This is what happens.
totally.
Oh, this is a problem. This is exactly what I was concerned about. We're going to need a stretcher or some kind of machine, perhaps a. I mean, I could cut him into pieces, but I feel like that would be.
whoa! Let's not do that.
All right.
You know, he has been able to survive his powers before. Let's just observe and let him come down off of this. See what comes of it.
Sir, we have to get him to the infirmary immediately.
A little heavy for that.
Well, we need to request additional resources. Boys, any information you can give us that would help us, you know, he could be in danger of his life. He could die. His lungs could collapse. Please tell us precisely what it is that he's taken.
He looks over to Rooster.
I attempt to say in a whisper to Slingshot, but I have sonic powers, and they're really amped up right now, even though they're not as amped up as these other two. So when I try to whisper, snitches get stitches back to Slingshot, it really comes out as like the voice of God. It's like, snitches get stitches.
Very loud.
We don't
Rams,
know. Yeah, we don't know anything. Sorry, guys. Maybe you get an infirmary thing for Ingot. That'll help him.
Ingersoll, why don't you go get somebody from the infirmary and get one of the anti-grav skids and bring that down here.
Excellent idea. I suggest, John, that you keep an eye on these.
Oh, they're not going anywhere.
All right.
I'm calling
zip
scene.
out.
Calling scene right there, because I think that leaves us in a decision-making position.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good one. Any new predictions to add?
Nope.
Brian?
No.
Okay. Rich, do you want to modify anything about popular reactions?
I think reaction is that the replication process is not going well, and there is worry.
All right. And Paul, you're checking the final box of momentum?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our crossroad is a new mutant-only drug is making the rounds. We've established what it's like. And the question is, conduct an investigation to locate the culprits. And what's at stake if we say that they do an undercover investigation to follow up on this and find out what's going on, which they have to because, of course, snitches get stitches and no one's talking, then it will lead to a faculty member and it leads to a breakdown of trust between students and administration. If they don't, if somehow Ramsa manages to block it, the drug spreads like wildfire and it's highly addictive. A thriving black market develops, and high teens with out-of-control powers eventually go on a rampage. Oh, man. And I have to frickin' decide because that's my power.
Welcome to the power.
I will tell you,
Power, man.
that if either of you had opened your mouths in front of Ingersoll, I was going to EMP the last 20 minutes of his memory.
Oh, that's
why I
terrible.
stopped to get equipment.
Yeah, I didn't ask you what you were getting, actually.
Yeah.
That's a very specific EMP.
Yes. Well, we had to fight him a bunch of times.
That's
So
true.
I figured we would have had weaponry to deal with him. Oh, man. I think that they have to do the undercover investigation. I think the answer is yes. Much as I don't want it to be yes, I think the answer is yes. Okay. So now that we know what's happening, we go to the predictions. Who put the "it leads to a faculty member" prediction?
Me.
Does that come true?
Yes, and I'm willing to throw Ms. Worthington under the bus.
All right. So tell me, what do you think that looks like?
It looks like her dragged away in a, one of those power restraint cuffs, neck things like you see, and but cursing and spitting and threatening both you and both John Ramsa and the rest of the administration. And there's probably a "this is not over" moment.
New nemesis.
Awesome. Who predicted the "it leads to a breakdown of trust between students and administration"?
That was also me, but I'd like to hand that off to someone.
You can certainly hand that off to Brian.
Brian.
The other perspective. Brian, does that come true or not?
It does come true, yes.
Okay, what does that look like?
It looks like a coldness between the students and the teachers and the administrators, a distrust, and people are much quicker to anger on both sides.
Awesome.
Is there a particular conflict between the students and the electronic American members of the faculty?
Electronic American.
Yeah, there probably is, since they're aware that he has far-reaching sensors, so they are giving him an extra cold shoulder, and conversations cease along entire hallways as soon as he comes in.
He is the man machine. Rich, so what do you think is the sort of final reaction amongst the student body?
I think that, so I one of those was the high teens go out of control, and we didn't choose that, right?
Right. I'll mark those all checked through. So
I think the reaction is close call. We need to be more careful about getting caught in the future.
how many of this? What kind of percentage of the student population do you imagine did the drugs?
Good question.
I don't think a high percentage. I think that they were afraid to pass it along too much. So there's probably like one class of kids that did this and caused a lot of this trouble.
Yeah, it actually makes sense. There could have been a lot of other kids that were like talking as if they had tried it, but never even came near it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that it would be just isolated to literally you, like 3-4 people.
And then I'm sorry, I have to tell a story from high school about the kid that was trying to impress everybody and pretended he was snorting coke, but it was really salt.
Oh,
Forgetting his chemistry and that salt crystals were cubes with 8 corners each. It did not work out well for him. But in this case, maybe there are some kids that have little pieces of paper and occasionally put them on their tongues.
Sure.
But it's just paper.
Mimeograph stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that taste.
It turns their tongue blue, but nothing else.
Yes. So what we do now is we're going to go around and you're going to kind of narrate, dictate a scene when we turn the camera on your character in the aftermath of this. What do we see? And since Paul did the last scene, Ingersoll, if we do a come in on you, what do we see in the aftermath of this crossroad, this decision?
Ingersoll is in rolling mode, so his little wheels are coming out of the bottom of his feet, and he's rolling through a hallway, and all the kids are staring at him. The entire hallway is quiet, and they're looking at each other, but nobody wants to look directly at him. And that song "Mad World" is playing in his head, and he's a little sad.
Awesome. Which version? The slowed down
For sure.
horror movie version?
All around me are suspicious faces. You know, it's very sad.
Love it. That's great.
Wow.
No one knows what it's like behind red eyes.
He's probably got a whole Spotify list for this.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Untrusting student body. Alone. Yeah.
We'll probably cut to Ramsa's office, where Ramsa has all the various paperwork and things from the undercover investigation. And he is putting them through a laser shredder, essentially one by one, dropping all of that stuff in there, making it vanish. And then with hesitation, he goes to his desk and takes out the last 2 sheets of this stuff and shoves that in the laser incinerator.
Wow. That couldn't have been easy.
Yeah, even as you can see his hand doing the super shakes.
Wow, a speedster with the shakes.
Yeah. He has to be careful he doesn't go through the floor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Heath?
It's a scene, no words of Lucia and Heath chatting quietly, and he's obviously just trying to impress her, and she's the chemist who's like, here's the next batch, and handing off just a couple very small, completely different colored tabs, but that's the next batch.
Nice. And Rooster?
Slingshot stole my scene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Almost, almost verbatim.
Oh, nice.
Get out of my head.
Wait for it.
So instead, my final scene is I'm actually looking at my notes for the history and tactics class, ooh, I got it. And tucked somewhere into my notebook is a note that I recognize as being in Ms. Worthington's handwriting, and the scene cuts away from me just as I'm opening it, so we don't actually get to read what's inside.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, I love that. That was fun.
That was fun.
So
That was fun.
I dug that. So I don't think we have time for another crossroads. Just given the time limit of that, if you guys are cool with that, we'll do the roses and thorns.
Yeah, I'd rather do one good one like that. That was cool. It takes some time to flesh it out.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with thorns. There are two things. One of them is that with this new sort of streamlined version of Kingdom, I think we could have done it with 5. And I think that probably would have worked. So that was a misjudgment on my part. The other thing is I should have gone for a different thing than power, maybe. I don't know. I always end up taking power. So I feel a little disappointed in myself that I didn't branch out on that. So they're my thorns. Rich?
You can't let go of the power, right?
I know. The authority.
Don't.
Yes, thank you for going there.
Power.
Oh my goodness, it's in my head.
Now,
Are we doing roses? Are we starting off with thorns?
starting off with thorns so we can end on roses. That's what you taught me.
I know. It's a good thing. Thorn for me, I've got a work project that's due in the morning, and so there were a couple of times that I realized I wasn't fully engaged, and I apologize for that. So that's a thorn on me. Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of defended it, but I still feel like the scene with the headmaster, we went somewhere with it, but as a scene, maybe it could have had a little more thrust. But I guess it did lead to kind of a thing.
I thought it led to a lot of nice stuff
Yeah,
there.
no, it did. Okay, then I don't have any thorns. I don't have any useful thorns. I could just say thorns.
Well, my thorn is that you stole your scene from Paul a couple of times. So.
In other words, Rich isn't paying attention unless it's my scene.
Yeah, I'm always paying attention to your scene.
That should be a compliment.
Yes.
Paul, thorns?
Well, I just said one, but that was mostly in joking. I have a thorn that's on me, which is I've only read an earlier version of Kingdom. I haven't looked at I saw your cheat sheets and things, but I haven't looked at the newest version of Kingdom. So I had some stuff in my head that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think that all of us could have been a little more economical with deciding when to call a scene over.
Okay.
Because you talked about, as we were talking about this, doing the middle of a scene, just like they talk about with TV and stuff like that. And I think there were a couple where we still had things to say, and they were fun, but that beyond a certain point we didn't necessarily move anything.
Oh, that's a good point.
But those are and I did it too. This is not a everybody but me thorn.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
And those are my thorns.
Okay.
Rich, just in general, and maybe
I accept your thorn. Turns out it's my rose. Rich, just in general.
Yeah.
Brian, thorns.
Well, obviously, Rich's William Shatner approach to taking over. I'm just kidding.
It's so true.
I'm sorry. I make the small joke.
I make these small jokes.
The only thorns for me, they're not really. I don't know if they're really thorns. This is a full-on story game. I've only played a handful of story games, and I always find them to be surprisingly complex and challenging. It's a white hot spotlight on you, and it can be hard to come up with the things you want to say. But I feel like I enjoy it more every single time I do it, and I'm really glad that I.
I like that. We'll do roses. So for me, I still love the if yes, if no mechanic in Kingdom. I think that's really cool, especially when players lean really hard into it and put some really problematic stuff on both sides to make that decision complicated. So I dug that. I dig that mechanic from the game. I also thought that I loved, how do I put this? I thought last session was good, but we kind of maybe we're still kind of grinding our gears a little bit with our characters. I didn't feel that way this time. I felt really good about all the scenes. Like I love what we saw from the characters, and I dug that, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed getting a chance to do something different with mine and all that. So I enjoyed that. Rich?
Big rose to you, Lowell. The pivot, I mean, it was a great choice.
Yeah.
That it took us from being after school special with magic powers to actually having some bite, and that pivot was just the best. It was great instincts. It was, and it that you didn't indicate it, that you didn't play to it. Obviously, it turned the perception of everything that happened before. It was so good, so good. And Brian, I thought Ingersoll was great.
Oh, thank you.
Your choices as Ingersoll and how he spoke and some of the weird little things he did were just neat. You know, it was a cool robot man. I liked it a lot. And
Awesome.
Paul, you know I love you, bro. I thought it was really good. The bit you did with her name with Witherspoon lady. Wow. I wanted to punch her in the neck, and she came out of nowhere. Worthington. Wow. Spectacular. I really liked how strongly you portrayed that character. Just out of whole cloth. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Paul?
I will say that I'm still not entirely convinced that Kingdom is my jam, but this particular 2 sessions has reinforced my conviction that I can jam almost anything with good people.
Oh, nice.
I just wanted to say that I had a lot of fun. Brian, you said you haven't done a lot of story game stuff. I would not have known that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You rocked it. You did. You didn't go completely. You didn't go all the way to the stereotype. You gave some humanity to your robot. Loved it.
Thank you.
Lowell, I have to echo what Rich said about the scene, about the scene where you did that, and I was like, because I have a crappy webcam, you probably couldn't see the second and a half of panic that flashed in my eyes when I realized what was going on. But after that panic passed and I embraced it, that was great, and it was tight, and it made everything work.
Yeah, and you took the ball. I threw it hard to you. You took it. So
yeah. Rich, I've been joking all night, but it's always a pleasure playing with you when you're actually paying attention.
Huh? What?
And hitting hard on the sort of really, really teenage bullshit friction between Rooster and Slingshot made it much easier for me to play my character. And you started it, you led me into it. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I'm glad. I always get nervous playing slightly antagonistic characters, but I felt like it would help bring stuff faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Brian, roses.
I think the biggest one for me was the awesome focus on the characters in a way that to a level that I'm just not used to experiencing in games. I feel like I knew all of your characters very well, especially for this second session, and it was so much fun. I could picture them in my head, very, very easily. I could picture the environment, the way you guys were describing it. And all your guys' descriptions are excellent. The dialogue was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. The tension between you two guys was great. Conflict. Yeah, that the twist, Lowell was amazing. And I was a little suspicious when we but I was like, I think that's just the way that this guy is, you know. So I didn't run a full scan. Now we know what happens.
Nice. What I want to follow up on something that you mentioned there, and I want to reinforce something you said, and actually give Rich another rose for Saturday. Rich is so good at environmental details. He is so good at that. I thought you described the desk and you set everything up. It was so good. He did the same thing on Saturday with Spirit of 77, where he described a 1977 record shop, and I felt like I was there. So just that's my follow up on your rose there, Brian.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
All right. Well, I am going to stop recording. So I'm going to do that. Here we go.